Hello, coin collectors, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. And today we're going to take a look at a coin from New Zealand. Well, it's kind of a coin. It's the $1 New Zealand 1987 National Parks Centennial Dollar. And so when New Zealand started with decimalization in 1967, they still had paper money. And so they had paper dollars in 1967. They moved from the £1 notes in decimalization, and this is kind of a nice £1 note here. This is a note with Captain James Cook on it. It says £1. So until 1967, New Zealand used the pound system, the same as England. And in 1967, they moved to the dollar system, in this on July 10th, 1967. And so this was one of the last of the pounds. This is actually a really valuable one for some reason. It's a 1940 to 1955 issue, £1 with Captain James Cook on it. And this one is a little bit more valuable because it has the Hannah signature on it right here. If we blow it up here, we see that it says H-A-J-P, Hannah, H-A-N-N-A-H. And the Hannah signature makes this worth probably $80. So this was what they had before 1967, the £1. And of course, there were no £1 coins back then. And then in 1989, they had moved, of course, to the dollar system. This is from the 1989 right here. This is the last of the dollar system because now New Zealand doesn't have any dollars at all. It just has coins for the $1 and $2. So this is the last of the New Zealand paper $1. So they moved from a paper pound to a paper dollar, and this is the last of the paper $1. And then, of course, now they have the $1 and $2 coins. This particular coin comes from a uncirculated coin set. And here's a picture of the coin set. It's kind of a long, thin coin set. And inside it has all the kind of centennial coin set stuff. Now, New Zealand did have $1 coins before they first issued them in general circulation in 1990. So in 1990, they started coming out with general circulation $1 coins. They started taking back all the paper dollars and destroying them, so they're a little hard to get these days. And the $1 coins that they had before then were all commemorative issues, as is this one. So if we look at this one here, we see that it says National Parks across the top, Centennial here. This is a picture of the first national park in New Zealand, which is Tongariro, I believe it's called. It was founded in 1887. They issued this particular coin in 1987 on its centennial or 100th anniversary. Let's see if we can get a little bit better light there. And so this is just a spectacular engraving. It's Robert Maurice Conley engraving. And you can see how he has, this gives you the idea of wind and waves as it kind of circles around. Then this is the mountain in the background. And this is a World Heritage Site. This particular national park was given to the, and we call it given, it essentially transferred to the crown by Te Huhu Tukino IV, I believe, who was a Maori king. And it has several really sacred Maori sites, 3 active volcanoes, and I'm not going to say what the names of the volcanoes are. And then, of course, it has some snow and ice. This coin is huge and it's heavy. It weighs 27.2 grams or more. And one of the issues you'll have if you ever find this $1 coin from New Zealand is that it's hard to tell if you have the silver version or the cupro-nickel version. So this is a copper-nickel mix here, but if we put it on the scale, and I'll actually turn the scale on and show you, Let's see if we can get it to, wait, let's get it to zero out first. All right, come on, zero. All right, we put the coin on the scale. We see that it's, yeah, it says 27.39. Sometimes coins have little bits of difference in it. It's supposed to be 27.2, and it's 27.39 on my scale, but we didn't actually just true the scale, we just got it up. So you can't tell the exact weight of it, but you're pretty darn close. So 27.2, we'll call it. But then you look up the silver version, and the silver version of this is actually listed at 27.2. What's the difference in value between the silver and the cupro-nickel? The cupro-nickel one is worth $10 to $12 plus shipping. This one right here by itself. The silver version is probably worth 20 to 25 to $40 depending on the condition with shipping. What are some other things about the coin? Well, it has a reeded or milled rim, as you can see, and it's really a finely milled rim. I don't know if there's thousands, but there's a lot of reeds around this rim. And then if we go to the front, we see that it's Queen Elizabeth II with the Raphael David Makhlouf portrait on here, the so-called third portrait following the Arnold Machen portrait. And you can tell it's Raphael David Makhlouf because you have a RDM right there underneath her neck, Raphael David Makhlouf. So this is the third portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. And this coin here never really circulated. They made about 18,000 of the cupro nickel. They made about 10,000 of the silver. And again, the cupro nickel's worth $10 to $15 at this point, and the silver one is worth 25 to 40. That's about all we have today from New Zealand $1 coins. And remember, this was not a circulating one, so it never actually got used, and that's why it's in such good shape. And it's, yeah, there's a question that came up, and that is it a rare one? Yeah, it is a really rare coin because they only made 18,000 of them. But one of the things that we talk about sometimes in these videos is just because you have a rare coin doesn't mean it's hugely valuable. So some people send me little emails and they say, well, you said it was rare, but it's only worth $1.75. Well, there's a lot of coins in the world that people don't collect. So I have some beautiful coins from Africa that there probably are only 300 to 500 of them in the world, but nobody really collects them, so they're only worth $5 or $6, even though there's only 300 to 500 of them. So this is a rare coin in the sense that it is hard to find, and they only made about 18,000 of them. But it's not a hugely valuable coin because many collectors want coins that were circulated or coins that were silver. So while this is rare, it's not a hugely valuable one. All right, so that's all we have today. Oh, I wanted to show you something just from the old system. So what did they used to use? And the English or UK viewers will love this one. This is a 1947 sixpence from the old coinage, the LSD coinage. It says New Zealand at the top, sixpence, 1947. We see the KG down here. Do you see the KG underneath the bird's feet on the limb? Let me get this really steady and better. Okay, so there's a KG right down here. And of course, that's a George Kruger Gray who did many of the engravings, including the man who did the maple leaf on the Canadian coins. You see it says 1947. This coin was only made in 1 year, which is one of the reasons I'm kind of throwing it in. And exactly, somebody says New Zealand went to copper nickel in 1947, and that's what this is. It's not a silver coin, but it's a rare and valuable coin from New Zealand because of what? Because this is the last year that it said King Emperor on it. In 1948, India achieved its independence, and so he was no longer the King Emperor or the Emperor of India. So when they did the titles for the kings and queens, George IV King, or Victoria Queen, but also one of their titles was the Emperor of India, or the Imperator of India. And so this 1947 coin had George VI on it, Um, and it was cupro-nickel. It's the first year of the copper-nickel coins. Uh, and so they first sent it out. But here's the problem. Because it said Emperor of India still on it, in 1948 they had to change that, not only just so they didn't insult India, but because he was no longer Emperor of India. So this coin only came out in 1 year. So if you're looking for a kind of a fun, cheap, this is less than $5, New Zealand coin, this sixpence, and actually if you get it in worse condition, you can probably get it for $1 or two. This is just a great coin because it's kind of a one-off Cupro nickel sixpence from 1947. All right, let's get back to the matter at hand. One more look at the National Park commemorative. And you can't take this to New Zealand and spend it, but you can probably sell it to a collector for $10 or $12. That's all we have today from the DC Coin World International Coin Channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you might have.